Every throne has a challenger ready to seize the crown. In the African wild, the ongoing contest predators versus prey is never set in stone. African lions call the shots across this land. But even Africa's deadliest predators cannot hold the throne with just a roar. The title must be earned back in the deadliest battles for survival. Let's dive right in. Four warriors, one arena. No one holds the throne forever. The pride ruling today could end up empty-handed tomorrow. Size, numbers, pure grit. What truly decides who makes it through? Three terrains, but a single rule is the name of the game: to hunt or to be hunted. A lion's roar echoes for up to 8 kilometers. The entire territory hears the call and knows to steer clear. But territory is not always respected. Hunger makes boundaries go out the window. Lions are not the only hunters out here. Fleeing, standing firm, or pushing back. Every choice comes with a price. One wrong choice, and there is usually no second chance. The Nodutu Plains, southern Serengeti, Tanzania. No cover for the hunter, and no hiding spot for the target. Out here, every showdown happens out in the open. Cheetahs are solitary creatures, except when raising cubs. These cubs are closely guarded by their mother. Every week they must move with her, staying clear of those on their trail. Yet even with such care, they are not entirely out of the woods. Cheetahs are the fastest cats, but are at a disadvantage face to face. Their bodies are built for sprinting, not for taking tough blows. Then another shadow emerges, completely solo. Running would be a misstep. Speed offers no advantage when the gap is already too close. And if she flees to save herself, her little ones simply won't make it. Lions do not hunt cheetahs for food. They remove them from the territory, because cheetahs can compete directly with lion cubs. The exact same instinct, coming back to bite the very ones who carry it. This is how a ruler protects the crown, not by consuming the competition, but by eliminating rivals before they even have a chance to grow. The mother is ready to put everything on the line. She faces down the tyrant, buying precious time for her little ones. Speed is put to use at its absolute maximum and with total grace. Just enough to extend their getaway. But will it be enough to ensure everyone's survival? Fortunately, they dodged a bullet this time, but they will have to go hungry for another meal. If the cheetah mother cannot secure another catch in time, it won't be the lion, but hunger that claims her little ones. Cheetahs are lightweight contenders. Not every opponent is quick to back down. Out on those very same plains, there are creatures that outweigh a lion many times over, and they stand their ground. She doesn't wait for the lion to make the first move. A rhino can charge at 40 kilometers per hour. A single blow carries enough power to topple a full-grown lion. Size and speed sometimes win the day against sheer numbers. But that lesson quickly goes out the window. A few hours later, another target comes into view. Tape buffalo choose to stick together A united herd can drive back an entire pride of lions. Isolating a single buffalo from the herd is exactly when the lions find their opening. That is the entire game plan. Fear is not the only instinct a prey animal relies on. Sometimes, standing tall is the right choice. Lions learn that lesson every single time they are turned away. Yet, lessons rarely rewrite the primal urge to hunt. The exact same predator. Sometimes it is a total walk in the park. Other times they have to turn around and walk away. The outcome does not hinge on how powerful the lion is, but on how the prey chooses to face them. Walking away keeps the pride completely intact. But hunger waits for no one. And when that hunger goes on for too long, lions are forced to bite the bullet and take the very risk they just avoided. Savuti, the Okavango region, Botswana. A channel bed that goes completely dry during part of the year. Water is unpredictable, and prey is constantly on the move. Lions here go after whatever crosses their path, instead of picking and choosing. Tata's pride is running low on food. She is one of the primary lionesses leading the hunt. When the pride is hungry, the responsibility falls on her to step up to the plate. Hunting as a team is how lions typically operate. But there is not always enough backup available to face a massive target. She selects a warthog as her target. Smaller than a Cape buffalo, smaller than a rhino. It seems like a safer option, but the warthog carries a weapon that its modest size cannot hide. a pair of razor-sharp tusks. They use them for self-defense, not just for digging the earth. And when its back is against the wall, a small creature with nothing left to lose will stand its ground with everything it has. Fata secures her prize, but those tusks still pierce deep into her hip. Victory, and an injury that will take time to mend. A smaller size does not mean you are out of the woods. A pack of hyenas catches wind of the meal. They swoop in to claim the prize right on the lion's own stomping ground. That pays the price for a meal she never even gets to touch. The cubs are still hungry, and her injury waits for no one. An injury like that will take weeks to mend. Throughout those weeks, she must still hunt. There is no such thing as a free lunch in this wilderness. Even a smaller target can leave a lasting mark. Data makes it through, but she emerges worse for wear. And every unhealed injury makes the next challenge significantly tougher. By a long shot. Kruger, South Africa. A vast conservation area stretching as far as the eye can see, where thick brush blends with open grasslands. The vegetation here is much denser, giving a hunter just enough cover to close in undetected. And there is plenty of water to sustain the continent's largest herds of Cape buffalo. In Kruger, male lions weigh around 200 kilograms. Over many hunting seasons, they have become experts at handling Cape buffalo. Most lions hunt buffalo in groups. The strength of a pride is enough to dominate such a massive creature. But facing an animal 4 times your own weight, completely alone, is a tall order few would ever dare to choose. Experience is the only thing that makes up for not having a team by your side. Today, he sets out alone. The target is a mature bull buffalo. Cape buffalo are no walk in the park. Just one direct impact from those horns, and even all his experience won't save him. And there is no pride backing him up to pull him out if things go south. No other predator in Africa would dare to go it alone. To bring down a giant of this scale, this is no stroke of luck. This is the result of experience gathered over many hunting seasons. The struggle comes to a close with him emerging as the victor. But a solitary triumph does not mean he is out of the woods. A physical toll must still be paid. Every time he hunts alone, he puts everything on the line, just so he won't have to share the prize with anyone. Not just any lion can pull this off. Most would back down or end up badly hurt before securing their meal. This lion is an exception, not a rule. In a land where numbers usually call the shots, a single individual can still change the game. But only if he is willing to go all in. The exact same species, three completely different outcomes. There is no magic formula to guarantee a victory. There is only stepping into the next arena, starting from scratch every single time. Every triumph is merely temporary until the next challenge comes along.
Dawn had barely touched the acacia treetops across the savannah when the hunt had already begun. Through the tall grass to the west, golden shadows moved without a sound. Lionesses are not as powerful as male lions, but they are more patient, more coordinated, and they know that patience determines the line. Between a full meal and starvation, their coordination was flawless. One lioness dropped low, pressing her belly to the ground, watching, waiting. Another circled wide as a decoy. Just enough to draw one of the young warthogs into a moment of careless curiosity. The lead lioness burst from the tall grass. What followed were seconds of absolute chaos. Dust erupted in blinding clouds. Roars tore through the silence. The pride closed in on their prize. The young warthog went down. Before the hunt had begun, one creature had already been watching in silence. In the trees, several hundred meters away, a fortress beyond the reach of any lion. A troop of baboons had been awake for some time. Their eyes swept across the savannah from above. The alpha male, rippling with muscle, weighing approximately 36 kilograms, stood at the highest point of the rocky outcrop. Its canine teeth measured 5 centimeters, rivaling those of a leopard. But its teeth were not its most fearsome weapon. Its intelligence was the true marvel. the ability to recognize faces and build political alliances. Scientists call them Machiavellian schemers. Baboons possess intelligence equivalent to a 3-year-old human child. A sharp bark shattered the morning stillness. This was the dedicated alarm call for lions. Baboons carry distinct alarm calls for leopards, another for eagles, and another for snakes. Each predator assigned its own unique frequency. The entire savanna went still. Gazelles stopped grazing. Ostriches raised their heads. Zebras pricked their ears. A chain reaction. As a single cry triggered thousands of survival instincts. Rippling across the grasslands. When baboons issue an alarm, no creature on the plains dares ignore it. But today the warning came too late. For the oryx herd to the west. They had already fallen beneath the lion's claws. A few hundred meters away, a flock of African ostriches was foraging alongside another herd of antelope. This group was considerably safer. The proximity between these two species was no accident. This was a sensory alliance, a silent pact, honed by evolution over millions of years. Ostriches possess eyes 5 centimeters in diameter, strikingly larger than their own brain. These are the largest eyes of any land animal on Earth, a Guinness World Record. From a vantage point approximately 2.7 meters high, ostriches serve as the watchtower of the savanna. Each eye is 5 times more sensitive than a human's, scanning every smallest movement across the vast grasslands. But with eyes larger than the brain, they see everything, yet understand very little. Ostriches detect movement, but cannot analyze the nature of the threat. With a top speed of 72 kilometers per hour, they are the fastest bipedal creatures on Earth. With strides spanning 3 to 5 meters, yet fleeing is always their last resort. Together they form a surveillance network through which no frequency or movement can pass undetected. Ostriches never bury their heads in the sand. That is the oldest myth in the entire history of nature. They lower their heads to reduce their silhouette and hide. Or to rotate eggs in the nest. But the sounds that mark territory are also an open invitation for challenges. A distant howl rose from somewhere beyond. Then came a laugh, chilling, skin-crawling. A sound no one hears once and ever forgets. A piercing shriek crescendoed. A clan of spotted hyenas was converging from every direction. The clan was led by the largest female. An absolute matriarchal society. This is what most people get wrong. Spotted hyenas are not scavengers. They hunt 60% of their own food and are the most endurance-efficient predators across all of Africa. It is lions that regularly steal food from hyenas. Not the other way around. Data from the Ngorongoro Hyena Project confirmed through decades of observation. But today the clan wanted to reclaim what was theirs. They surrounded a male lion feeding on a carcass. The male lion rose. "181 kilograms of overwhelming muscle." Towering over them, hyenas know one law of survival. Never confront a healthy male lion head-on, no matter how many you are. Their strategy: harass and wait. The hyena clan rushed in within seconds. Jaws crushing bone, stripping what remained in minutes. On the savannah, nothing is ever wasted. Patience had defeated brute force, at least for today. The hyenas had finished. Bones lay shattered. The savannah fell silent again. But the ground beneath it did not. A tremor moved through the earth, at frequencies below the threshold of human hearing. Not an earthquake, not thunder. This was the call of African elephants. The herd moved across the grasslands, each footfall compressing more than 13,000 pounds. Roughly 5.9 metric tons into the ground, generating seismic waves that travel more than 10 meters through the earth. Elephants receive these vibrations through their feet. Seismic communication is a language that took humans decades to discover. Leading the herd was the oldest female, the matriarch, the living memory of the entire family. Like hyenas, elephant society follows strict matriarchal order. But unlike hyenas, power here does not come from teeth or claws, but from memory. The matriarch remembers every water source, every migration route, every drought that stretched across 60 years. In years of devastating drought, the survival of the entire herd depends entirely on the memory of one individual. And the trunk may be the most extraordinary organ evolution has ever produced, housing more than 40,000 muscle bundles in a single structure, while the entire human body possesses only 640 muscles. The herd passed through, and the savannah literally transformed. They toppled trees, carved out pathways, dug water wells that dozens of other species depend upon. Ecosystem engineers, the greatest architects of Africa. No living creature dares block their path, not even lions. On the savannah, every dawn brings a new battle. Every creature is simultaneously weapon and target, hunter and hunted.
Here to stay. Yellowstone National Park, January. People call this place the Serengeti of North America, but at this moment it feels more like a lifeless planet than an open grassland. Winter here is a prolonged siege. At elevations ranging from 1,600 to 2,000 meters, this land becomes a focal point where polar air currents from Canada pour in. Snow accumulates, stacking layer upon layer until it reaches depths of more than 1.5 meters. In the year 2026, strong fluctuations in the Arctic Oscillation pushed temperatures down to a record low of -40 degrees Celsius. Yet, within this extreme cold, life remains. In the Mammoth Hot Springs area, the Travertine limestone basins known as the Travertine Terraces create a strange thermal paradox. Water erupts from deep underground at a temperature of 80 degrees Celsius, flowing into the Gardner River and keeping it from ever freezing completely. These thermal oases have welcomed more than 20% additional wildlife compared to a decade ago. Humans, on the other hand, follow a different path. In contrast to the peak summer days when up to 3,000 people live and work here, the population dwindles to just a few hundred once winter arrives. They watch over the land and keep Yellowstone running in harmony with its true, untamed spirit. Now, let us head toward the area that draws the most visitors. Old Faithful. Every 90 minutes it releases thousands of liters of near-boiling water. Each column of water rises more than 50 meters into the air. Where do these soaring plumes of heated water come from? We are standing on one of the most unstable regions of Earth's crust. Beneath the snow and the warm streams where the American dipper forages lies an immense presence capable of reshaping the planet's climate. Everything we have witnessed, from geothermal warmth to the remarkable persistence of life, are surface expressions of a giant drawing breath. A supervolcano lies at rest, and its quiet exhalation is what powers the entire Yellowstone ecosystem. At Yellowstone National Park, since its official establishment 153 years ago, the end of one journey and the beginning of another have always maintained a delicate balance. The entire central region of the park is, in fact, a caldera, a vast, sunken basin. Its scale is so immense that even if you were standing inside its rim, you might never realize it. This enormous hollow was formed when the Earth collapsed inward after some of the most powerful volcanic episodes in planetary history. Beneath the calm presence of roaming bison lies an energy system operating on a planetary scale. A column of molten rock, known as a hotspot, continuously channels heat from deep within the Earth toward the surface. Two magma chambers are stacked like a colossal hourglass. The upper chamber sits just 5 to 17 kilometers below the surface. Beneath it, a second chamber, 4.5 times larger, remains concealed, holding enough molten material to fill the Grand Canyon more than 10 times over. The immense heat from this hidden engine warms underground water, generating the pressure that powers Old Faithful and the vivid palette of hot springs. Yellowstone's past is marked by volcanic events, rated at Volcanic Explosivity Index Level 8, the highest on the scale. The first, 2.1 million years ago, released enough ash to blanket nearly half of North America. The most recent, 640,000 years ago, shaped the landscape we recognize today. Each time this giant stirred, global climate patterns were reshaped. If it were to awaken, it would lead to a truly overwhelming geological transformation. The ground would burst open from deep within. The entire vibrant ecosystem we see today would be swept away instantly by thermal flows reaching 800 degrees Celsius. Within a radius of 100 kilometers, existence would simply vanish into thin air. 3/4 of the United States would be buried under gray snow. Yet this is not snow, but tiny fragments of volcanic rock and glass. It is so heavy that it could cause buildings to give way, block the airways of every living soul, and completely bring down the national power grid. But the true challenge lies in the stratosphere. Billions of tons of sulfur gas would create a massive veil surrounding the Earth, shielding us from the sunlight. Global temperatures would drop suddenly, summers would fade away, and a great scarcity would affect humanity as harvests fail across the globe. Yellowstone is not merely a volcano, it is a reset button for our planet. However, data from the Yellowstone Volcano Observatory in early 2026 shows that this giant is still breathing as steady as a rock. The ground here continuously rises and falls by a few centimeters each year, a sign that the magma system below is moving and adjusting its pressure in a stable manner. The more immediate concern at Yellowstone today is not molten rock, but water. Hydrothermal eruptions, such as the dramatic event at Biscuit Basin in 2024, highlight the force of pressurized underground steam. When superheated water exceeds the limits of surrounding rock, it rapidly releases energy in a sudden transformation. In 2026, geologists closely monitor temperature changes within hot spring basins, where the line between a tranquil attraction and a steam-driven event is separated by only a few degrees Celsius. This natural heating system sustains wildlife through winter, while also remaining a latent trigger beneath the surface. As if they have made a pact for survival with nature, the bison standing near Old Faithful do not flinch. This is the only population in the United States that has maintained genetic continuity since the Pleistocene epoch. They belong to this land. Their coats have an exceptionally dense fiber structure, functioning as near-perfect insulation. Their heat retention is so effective that snow landing on their backs keeps its crystalline shape, untouched by body warmth. For a plains bison, minus 40 degrees Celsius is little more than a mild inconvenience. What truly challenges them is hunger. Beneath more than 1 meter of snow lies a precious supply of dried grass, but reaching it demands extraordinary strength. They use their massive heads, weighing up to 200 kilograms, as a pivot point, performing a behavior known as snow plowing. It is exhausting work, but does the grass they uncover truly repay the energy spent? This is why warm refuges like Old Faithful become tempting yet deceptive havens. Geothermal heat keeps the ground bare, with grass readily available and no digging required. But this favor comes at a cost. Spending too long within dense, sulfur-laden steam can cause serious harm to their lungs. Silica and mineral-rich chemicals from the geysers wear down their teeth at an alarming pace. A plains bison living in other parts of Yellowstone can reach an age of 20 to 25 years. However, individuals that choose life near geysers often live only around 10 to 12 years. Even so, in the year 2026, the plains bison population remains steady at 5,500 individuals. Winter is not over yet. These giants can endure the cold, But they are not the only ones. The calm before the storm. Leaving behind the bustling haze of sulfur-laced steam at Old Faithful, we move northward. At Mammoth, geothermal warmth no longer puts on a display. It lies hidden within quiet travertine limestone basins. This is a labyrinth of rock and ice where every sound is swallowed by temperatures of -30 degrees Celsius. In this whitewashed world, survival belongs to those who know how to blend into the shadows. High on the sheer cliffs surrounding human settlement, a silent presence watches. Cougar. For a fully grown male, its territory can stretch across as much as 800 square kilometers. We know them as supreme masters of ambush. A single bound can carry them 12 meters forward or lift them 5.5 meters upward in one effortless motion. Across most of this continent, the cougar sits at the very top of the food chain. But in Yellowstone National Park, when winter stretches on for half the year and the biting cold becomes the sole ruler, pride can turn into a rare luxury. Cougars must make use of snow-covered remains left behind by the season. Scavenging accounts for roughly 10 to 15% of a cougar's winter diet. They are among the most skillful opportunists in the Mammoth region. When grizzly bears leave feeding sites behind to settle into winter dormancy, cougars are often the first to arrive at the leftovers of that quiet banquet. At Yellowstone, survival is the only true reward, no room for second chances. This is true for the bobcat as well. Smaller than the cougar, this feline knows far better how to look after its own well-being. The bobcat possesses one of the most efficient insulation systems within the Felidae family. Its dense underfur, with an exceptionally high fiber density, accounts for up to 80% of the total coat mass, forming a barrier that limits heat loss through convection. Even when ambient temperatures drop to -30 degrees Celsius, the temperature at the surface of its skin remains stable at 37.5 degrees Celsius. This allows the bobcat to perform one of the most daring behaviors seen among cats, hunting along geothermal streams that never freeze. Its paws may be small, but the thick fur covering the foot pads minimizes direct contact with ice, preventing localized heat loss while it waits motionless in frigid water for hours at a time. Fishing in fast-moving water is extraordinarily complex. The bobcat must calculate light refraction to pinpoint the true position of prey beneath the surface. Its strike reaches speeds of more than 10 meters per second, driven by fast twitch muscle fibers that dominate its muscular structure. During the winter of the year 2026, when terrestrial rodent populations declined by 15% due to hardened snow cover, shifting toward fish as a protein source became a strategic move. Each fish provides roughly 150 kilocalories, enough to sustain its basal metabolic rate for 12 hours. A solitary, proud hunter now relies on small fish to endure until a greater opportunity appears. It feeds, until its stomach reaches full expansion, a biological energy storage mechanism designed to carry it through the lean weeks ahead, playing the long game. Leaving the limestone maze behind, we follow the flow of heat toward the Lamar Valley. There, a river that never rests awaits other masters of swimming, creatures that hunt not only to live, but turn survival itself into a contest of intelligence. Welcome to the Lamar Valley, where the snowstorms of the year 2026 are rewriting the rules of survival. Under the influence of the Arctic Oscillation, cold here is no longer a weather condition. It becomes a relentless biological filter. Within this white dominion, a grey presence shapes the quiet fears of grazing animals. Northwestern wolf. Viewers often praise their physical strength, but in this land, muscle comes second to collective intelligence. The Wapiti Lake Pack is among the most formidable units ever recorded in Yellowstone National Park. They are masters of strategy, fully aware that a direct confrontation with a plains bison weighing close to 1 metric ton is a biologically unsustainable choice. Reality is unforgiving. The success rate of bison hunts for these wolves hovers around 10 to 15%. That means out of 10 coordinated pursuits, they may return with empty stomachs 8 or 9 times. Each hard-won feast in the snow is therefore far more than a hunt. It is a reward for persistence pushed to the limit. This confrontation has stretched on for more than 10 hours. The seasoned bull bison understands that solid ground belongs to its pursuers. It chooses the most extreme option. Yet nature rarely offers relief without a price. Moving water strips away body heat dozens of times faster than air. The Wapiti Lake Pack knows this well. A victory born of attrition. The northwestern wolf is the largest subspecies within the gray wolf family, with fully grown males reaching weights of up to 70 kilograms. But their true advantage does not lie in muscle. It lies in the design of their feet. These oversized paws function like natural snowshoes, spreading body weight and allowing agile movement across soft snow, while heavier prey sinks deeper and steadily loses strength. The most formidable weapon of the Wapiti Lake Pack is calculated persistence. With a bite force approaching 1,500 newtons at the molars, they are capable of crushing the thigh bone of a fully grown elk. Even so, their hunting success rate typically remains around 10 to 15%. This turns every pursuit into a brutal gamble of energy expenditure. Wolves do not need to outrun their prey in a single burst. They only need to endure longer in a marathon that lasts for hours. In a realm ruled by sub-zero temperatures, the victor is the one who keeps a steady heartbeat after the other has completely given way. Slow and steady wins the race. If a wolf pack marches like warriors powered by numbers, then the red fox is a true solo performer. In the monochrome world of Lamar Valley, its coat becomes the only burst of color bold enough to stand up to the severity of winter. And yet, This is one of Yellowstone's hunters, equipped with one of the most unusual biological toolkits in the wild. Its funnel-shaped ears filter out the wind, locking onto a single vibration beneath a layer of snow 1 meter thick. But extraordinary hearing is not the only asset at work here. The red fox is doing something very few mammals can do. It is reading the Earth's magnetic map. The pounce. A refined blend of physics and instinct, right on the money. This is a calculated gamble, one that depends heavily on timing and chance. In this almost ironic handstand-like pose, the red fox has only a few seconds to secure its catch with precise jaws before the snow's cold dulls the senses. A small meal demanding total focus. Yet refinement alone does not promise an easy life. Shifting climate patterns are forming broader fields of dense snow, reducing the effectiveness of these aerial leaps. More challenging still, changing snow surfaces are opening the door for rougher neighbors. The coyote. Larger in size and opportunistic by nature, coyotes in Yellowstone are increasingly moving in to claim hunting grounds once mastered by the fox. At Lamar Valley, when snowstorms drive temperatures to extreme lows, life is no longer a privilege. It becomes a negotiation. Coyotes naturally sit in the middle tier of the hierarchy within Yellowstone National Park. What has carried them through millions of years is a form of flexibility that is practical to the core. Beneath more than 50 centimeters of snow, voles move through narrow, frozen tunnels. The coyote uses auditory triangulation to locate its target with an error margin of only a few millimeters. A modest win, but voles are only the opening course of a long winter day. As small food sources grow scarce under harsh conditions, the coyote is forced to raise the stakes toward larger, riskier targets. An adult trumpeter swan with a wingspan reaching 2.5 meters represents a rare luxury. In this unforgiving cold, the end of one journey becomes the continuation of another. Yet in this land, eating alone is almost never an option. The golden eagle decides it is time for the ground dweller to share the reward. Below the thin mist of the Lamar River, where ice can never seal the surface completely, another group of residents is busy with a very different way of life. They fully exploit winter's small openings, turning icy water into a vibrant playground, making the most of it. While much of Yellowstone National Park is locked beneath winter's enduring ice, the Lamar River stubbornly keeps flowing. For the North American river otter, this moving water is a demanding arena where survival is constantly tested. Their playful appearance cannot disguise the reality that this is a land that asks a great deal from those who live here. To sustain life in icy currents, the the North American river otter maintains a metabolic rate 3 times faster than land mammals of similar size. It is an immense biological load. Each day, they must consume food equal to 15 to 20% of their body weight. When fish become scarce or difficult to pursue, otter families in Lamar Valley shift to a quieter but more mentally demanding menu: stonefly larvae. Turning over rocks in search of stonefly larvae is a clear display of advanced problem-solving skill. These larvae are rich in protein and fats, yet they remain carefully concealed. Otters must remember locations with the right current and an ideal riverbed structure. The lively motion of the North American river otter creates a striking contrast with the surrounding stillness. And slowly, the valley shows signs that energy is returning, turning the corner. At Yellowstone National Park, spring does not arrive with fanfare. It slips quietly through cracks in the stone and reveals itself in subtle shifts of light. In March, a resonant call tears through the stillness of the frozen plains. It is the trumpet announcing the return of one of the planet's most ancient residents, sandhill crane. With fossil records dating back 2.5 million years, this bird has witnessed the rise and retreat of ice ages and the fading of enormous prehistoric beasts. Its design is a masterpiece of ancient biological engineering. The secret lies in a long trachea, intricately coiled within the breastbone, functioning as a natural sound amplifier. Every call it releases is a declaration of enduring presence. They return to reclaim a realm they held long before modern humans learned how to kindle fire. As winter slowly loosens its grip, the stage of Hayden Valley comes alive with dramatic courtship dances. Sandhill cranes are steadfast romantics. These dances carry a dual meaning, a ritual that reinforces bonds and a clear message of territorial claim. With vast wingspans and bold leaps into the air, they turn dry grasslands into props for a living musical of survival. The arrival of the cranes is the first bell that stirs Yellowstone from its long sleep, setting the stage. If sandhill cranes are proud messengers announcing spring from the skies while snow still lingers, then the American pika are the cautious residents of the rocky slopes. They only truly emerge once the stones release their frozen grip. For 6 long months of severe winter, this small creature has remained hidden within a maze of rock crevices, surviving on stores gathered from the previous season. Now, as warm sunlight begins to spread across the high plateaus, their race against time officially begins. American pika are, in essence, thermodynamic athletes living right at the edge of what survival allows. The life of the American pika is a harsh temperature paradox. Their bodies function like compact furnaces, constantly running at a high internal temperature of about 40 degrees Celsius. This protects them from freezing through winter, yet becomes a critical constraint during summer. As unusual heat waves reach even the highest elevations of Yellowstone National Park, their survival margins are tested more than ever. If surrounding temperatures rise above 25 degrees Celsius for just a few hours, their cooling system begins to falter. Deep shade within rock crevices becomes the only stronghold shielding them from the sun's intense warmth. The true secret behind their persistence lies in carefully selected and stored hay piles. American pika have evolved into remarkably skilled botanical specialists. They favor plants rich in phenol, a powerful natural compound that acts as a preservative, preventing decay and fungal growth beneath deep snow for half a year. They consume plants with lower toxicity first, saving these phenol-rich reserves for late winter when toxicity has naturally broken down and the forage remains usable. Summer foraging trips of the American pika are always swift, efficient, and filled with tension. They are using every minute of the summer of 2026 to fill their stores before the cold returns. While these rocky slope dwellers stay busy with their carefully built reserves, at lower elevations, warmth is reshaping vast bodies of water. Heat rising from the earth becomes the signal for another great journey, unfolding deep beneath the river's surface, on the move once again. Summer at Yellowstone is an advance of rising heat. As warmth reaches the rocky slopes, American pika retreat into the cool darkness of deep crevices, yielding the stage to a new arms race. Attention now shifts toward the heart of the park, where Yellowstone Lake, the largest freshwater lake in North America, resting at an elevation of 2,357 meters, is shedding its final armor of ice. This is the starting line for one of the continent's most consequential biological events, where the clock starts ticking. By late May, as the ice releases its hold, Yellowstone cutthroat trout begin a demanding upstream journey into more than 60 tributary streams. This is a migration driven by renewal. The year 2026 marks a historic turning point. After years of sustained effort to remove the invasive lake trout, native fish populations have rebounded with remarkable strength. This recovery is not merely a figure in a scientific report. It represents the return of a vast protein supply network. Millions of fish eggs and tons of fresh fish become nourishment for hundreds of osprey and, most notably, for the dominant hunters of the land, bringing everything back into balance. For a grizzly bear, summer is a race against its internal clock. They do not eat simply to sustain themselves. They eat to prepare for a long seasonal shutdown that lies ahead. An adult bear may consume more than 200 different plant and animal species, yet Yellowstone cutthroat trout remains the centerpiece of this premium menu. At this stage, a grizzly bear can add up to 1.5 kilograms of body weight each day. Every muscle fiber and every layer of subcutaneous fat is mobilized, transforming river energy into raw physical strength. At Yellowstone, nature's abundance is always paired with confrontation. The grizzly bear has no concept of sharing. When a giant weighing more than 300 kilograms arrives, the rules change instantly. Hidden within the bends of the stream, A rodent with iron-infused teeth quietly builds monumental works of water engineering. During the decades when the northwestern wolf was absent, Yellowstone National Park experienced a cascading breakdown. Overcrowded elk herds turned riverbanks into barren stretches, stripping away every young willow shoot the moment it emerged from the ground. With no building material and no food left, the last beavers were eventually forced to abandon their realm. The return of the wolves reshaped what ecologists call the map of fear. When elk no longer lingered freely along stream edges, willow trees were finally given space to grow tall again. This marked the moment when the American beaver launched its biological counteroffensive. Take a close look at its toolkit. Those distinctive orange incisors are reinforced with iron. A high iron content makes beaver teeth harder than those of any other rodent, allowing them to bring down a tree trunk 15 centimeters in diameter in just 20 minutes. This is a biological logging machine operating with remarkable precision, turning trees that stood for decades into material for something far greater. This structure is far more than shelter. It is a massive filtration system for the Yellowstone ecosystem. By slowing the current, the dam traps sediment and cleans the water, creating rich wetland habitats. Data recorded in the year 2026 shows that in areas shaped by beaver activity, biodiversity rises by 25%. Each small pond they create becomes a nursery for life, from young fish to sensitive amphibian species. In nature's demanding economy, the beaver is one of the few residents that pays its rent by building an entire city for others to share, pulling its weight. The beaver's ability to regulate water flow creates stable habitats for many other residents, even under the harshest conditions. While waterways across North America risk freezing solid during extreme cold, beaver ponds in Yellowstone continue to support life, warmed by natural geothermal heat from below. The combination of dam building and underground warmth forms small sanctuaries, where the region's only songbird can still carry out underwater foraging while the world above lies completely frozen. As American beaver dams create calm oases that nurture life, another resident of Yellowstone National Park chooses a path where the current never rests. Do not be misled by its modest gray appearance. The American dipper is not an ordinary songbird that lost its way in winter. In this landscape, it is a biological nonconformist. While most birds across North America undertook journeys thousands of kilometers south to escape the cold of the year 2026, this small creature chose to stay. This is a masterpiece of evolution. The American dipper is the only songbird on the continent capable of diving and walking along the stream bed in search of food. To thrive here, it carries specialized adaptations, a transparent third eyelid that functions like diving goggles, and elevated levels of hemoglobin in the blood to store oxygen for longer periods. It calmly steps across stones on the stream bottom, searching for stonefly larvae and other aquatic insects amid rushing water. Why would such a delicate creature choose to remain inside a vast natural freezer? While nearly all other waters in the Rocky Mountains freeze solid enough for a bison to cross, rivers such as the Gardner River and the Firehole River continue to surge. They are sustained by an unseen yet powerful source of warmth. Mineral-rich warm water from geothermal vents constantly feeds these streams, keeping temperatures above the freezing point even when outside air drops to -40 degrees Celsius during the Arctic oscillation of the year 2026. The American dipper does not need to migrate south because it stands atop one of the most effective central heating systems on Earth, right under its feet. Yet, the warmth that sustains these streams is not a random gift of nature. The vibrant geysers and steaming rivers are merely small vents of a far larger force concealed below. But as we leave the massive caldera of Yellowstone and move toward the south, the geology begins to tell a different story. The geothermal intensity gives way to the sharp beauty of granite peaks sculpted by ancient glaciers. Right next to the kingdom of fire and steam lies a world of sheer cliffs and lakes as clear as mirrors. Grand Teton National Park. This is not a place for those who dream of a calm postcard landscape. These granite masses, 2.7 billion years old, did not rise naturally to serve as a backdrop for amateur photographers. They were thrust upward from deep within the earth by the Teton Fault, stretching 65 kilometers, forming a harsh natural wall that separates survival from oblivion. Beneath those jagged peaks, the Jackson Hole Valley unfolds like a vast arena, where every square meter of ground is steeped in stories of endurance. Leaving behind the smooth asphalt routes built for tourists, Moose Wilson Road appears like a narrow, rugged scar cutting through the heart of the ecosystem. This is an 11-kilometer biological corridor, a natural bottleneck where encounters are never announced in advance. Anyone who has heard tales of peace in these mountains has likely never faced the reality found here. On Moose Wilson Road, privacy is a luxury nature never provides. This is a vital passageway wildlife relies on to move between feeding grounds. Summer in this high country is brutally brief. When the last snow finally retreats, the ground exhales, forming a mist that conceals outcomes best left unseen. Beneath the dense canopies of aspen forests, silence often signals a quiet pursuit underway, or the fading traces of a feast long concluded. The creatures here do not seek admiration. They seek calories to prepare for the coming winter. Every step along this road is a wager, with the odds always tilted toward the one with the sharpest senses, the name of the game. The terrain here is a maze of water, decaying wood, and primal instinct. Geological measurements confirm that these mountains are still rising at an average rate of 1 millimeter per year, yet the shifts within animal social structures happen even faster. One small misstep, one moment of complacency before raw beauty, and any position can change within the food chain. Nature in Grand Teton has little regard for human rules. It follows a single principle only. The one who adapts best will be the last still standing on Moose Wilson Road. At Grand Teton, a case of mistaken identity can lead to outcomes that are far from comfortable. Do not let the name Black Bear mislead the eye. In the western United States, these animals often wear coats of cinnamon, honey gold, or deep brown, a flawless form of camouflage beneath sunlight filtering through valley canopies. The rainy season in Serengeti. the Mara River turns into a raging beast, swallowing everything in its path. For most species, this is the edge between survival and surrender. But for a herd of African elephants, it's just another challenging Monday at the office. Leading the way is the queen, the matriarch. With over 50 years of wisdom stored in a 5-kilogram brain, she needs no map. She is the embodiment of strength and unshakable authority. Those behind her don't just follow, they place their lives in her judgment. Before the entire battalion moves out, the Queen conducts a field survey. The density of the mud, the pressure of the current. An African elephant's foot can detect even the tiniest tremors beneath the earth and measure the softness of the silt. She's calculating the landing spot on the far bank, several dozen meters away. If the slope there is too steep, the young ones may tire out and slip right into the jaws of misfortune. The matriarch places herself in the most treacherous position, upstream. Weighing nearly 6 metric tons, she becomes a living dam, absorbing the full force of the river's surge. The safe zone is carved right behind her legs. Other adult females in the family act as guardians, flankers. They form an unbroken formation, pressed tightly together to make sure no calf gets swept away by the current. In a world where Nile crocodiles are ever watchful, isolation spells vulnerability. Crossing the river isn't just a physical test, it's a mental battle. The young females, the babysitters at the rear, make sure no one falls behind and gives predators a chance. When the last foot touches dry ground, the march is over. Here, the wisdom of the old is the compass for life. This holds true for the ancient Maasai people who once thrived within the Serengeti, Masai Mara ecosystem. Maasai society is guided by a gerontocracy, meaning that the elders hold absolute respect and provide the primary direction for the entire community. The elders form a council to make all vital tribal decisions, from migrating to find water sources and resolving land or livestock disputes to seeking peace or declaring a stance of defense. These respected figures preside over the most significant ceremonies in a Maasai person's life, such as the passage into adulthood or gatherings to call for rain. They also oversee the unions of daughters and the arrangement of alliances between lineages. The young Maasai women, often known as the Intoi before marriage, must undergo a rigorous period of preparation. They must master intricate beadwork techniques, learn to identify various types of grasses, and perfect the art of milking cattle gently so as not to cause the animal any discomfort, as well as finding water during dry spells. Unlike many other cultures within Maasai society, the construction of homes is a responsibility that belongs entirely to the women. With versatile skills and great care, these women personally build oval-shaped homes from branches, mud, grass, ash, and cattle manure. They are even responsible for maintaining the roofs to withstand the demanding rainy season of the savanna. While the men hold the political and defensive roles for the Maasai, the women serve as the backbone that sustains the family and the community. Their resilience is what ensures the hearth fire of the family never fades away, just like the lionesses of a pride. In the world of lions, those with manes are merely temporary bodyguards, coming and going like the rainy seasons. But the ladies, they are the permanent residents. A pride is, in truth, a female dynasty built on unshakable loyalty and unbreakable bloodlines. The lioness is the irreplaceable core. Science calls this a social structure rooted in strong female bonds. While the males are exiled upon maturity to seek their fortune, the females stay behind to inherit ancestral land. They are the primary hunters, the nurturers, and the warriors who guard the borders. The ratio of males in any pride remains minimal, often just a small coalition to ensure reproduction. This imbalance creates a complex political ecosystem where the favor of the dominant male can sometimes ignite internal drama. During mating season, time is as precious as gold. Elite males and females may mate up to 50 times a day to secure conception. A weary, possessive commitment. After mating, tenderness is no longer on the table. If the husband shows the slightest bit of bad attitude, the lioness will let him know, clear as day, that it's time for him to leave and stay well out of her sight. Lionesses never let one of their own face a male's aggression alone. This is the clearest proof of who's truly in the driver's seat. A male holds power only as long as the females allow it. The hierarchy here is flexible. A female may lose a clash with a male, but she always wins the long game of survival thanks to this social safety net. These blood-bound kin are the essence, the truly irreplaceable ones. As dusk settles over Masai Mara, order is restored. The queens prepare once more for the night hunt, where the power of unity turns them into unstoppable shadows. But unity isn't all the savannah has to offer. In the open fields, competition can take on strange and wild forms. In Serengeti, survival isn't always about finding food. Sometimes it's about holding ground. The prize is the center spot of the lek. In the world of Topis, the more central your position, the more prized your genes become. But here, these muscle-bound males don't get the final say. Meet the fiercest ladies of the savannah. Each female topi has just one single day a year to conceive. 24 hours, that's all they have to secure the next generation. A desperate quest for a mate. When all the females in the pride ovulate at the same time, the lek turns into a battlefield ruled by the ladies. To make sure she's the only one fertilized by the top-tier genes at the heart of it all, a female won't hesitate to use force. These headbutts pack just as much punch as the male's fiercest clashes. Spare a little sympathy for the winning male. He's landed the spot every guy dreams of, but the price is utter exhaustion. A central male might have to mate hundreds of times in a day with dozens of different queens. When he tries to take a break out of sheer fatigue, the females aren't having it. They will push, shove, even rough him up to keep him working. In this ecosystem, it's the females who run the show. The male is just a rare resource to be fully tapped before sundown. Female power wears many faces. From the aggression of the topi, we now descend into the shadowy world of one of the most misunderstood creatures of the savannah. Get ready to meet the spotted hyena. We now shift from the chapter of rulers to the chapter of mothers, where the price of the crown is paid in the rawest form of physical trial. In the world of the spotted hyena, the females are the true monarchs. Thanks to sky-high levels of testosterone, they are bigger, more assertive, and hold a firm, matriarchal grip on society. But nature never gives anything away for free. Every mother here faces a biological design seemingly crafted to test the very limits of endurance. Spotted hyenas do not have an external vaginal opening. Instead, the clitoris extends and elongates, taking the shape of a male reproductive organ. It is both the gateway for mating and a birth canal, so narrow it's nearly suffocating. Imagine a newborn weighing nearly 1.5 kilograms pushing through a tight, narrow tube just 2.5 centimeters wide. During her first labor, a mother's body must tear to make way for life. 15% of first-time mothers won't make it, worn down by exhaustion or infection. The firstborn faces a mortality rate of up to 60%, often from suffocation in a birth canal that's too long, or from sibling battles that turn brutal in the darkness of the den. But while most predator species are born fragile, hyena cubs enter the world like clockwork warriors. Eyes wide open, teeth already in place, and a built-in instinct to dominate coded deep in their genes. Status is an inherited gift. Daughters of the alpha female are granted privilege from the moment they're born, ranked above all females whose mothers sit lower in the hierarchy. Meanwhile, males are like permanent outsiders. They're cast out of their birth clan and forced to join a new one as complete nobodies. And they're met with hostility so fierce, it strips them of any will to resist. A full-grown male must submit to even a newborn if she carries royal blood. Female power is fortified by social support. They stay, they bond, they build alliances, while males are always outsiders. Even reproduction is entirely on the female's terms. The female hyena accepts the pain, the risk, and the scars in exchange for absolute command. She is both fierce warrior and the most resilient mother on the savannah. Leaving behind the struggle in the shadowed dens of hyenas, we now look skyward. There, giraffe mothers face a very different trial, raising towering children in open plains, surrounded by watchful eyes, without a single burrow or bit of shelter in sight. A giraffe's birth is a thunderous landing. No cozy den, no sheltering cover. They arrive in this world from a height of 2 meters. That violent drop is absolutely necessary. It breaks the umbilical cord and jump-starts the calf's lungs for their first breath. Right now, The scent of blood and birth fluid fills the air like an irresistible invitation. The spotted hyenas we met earlier, those warrior mothers, are now ghost-like figures awaiting an easy meal. Here, slowness means becoming a memory. The newborn has exactly 1 hour to learn how to balance on its stilt-like legs. If it can't stand, it can't nurse. And if it can't nurse, it won't have the strength to outrun the sharpened teeth waiting in the brush. Mother's milk is the only lifeline. It's thick, rich in fat, and fuels an astonishing growth rate, 2 to 3 centimeters a day. To produce it, the mother must consume between 35 and 45 kilograms of leaves every day. She cannot sleep. She can hardly rest. Her calf's existence is a non-stop drain on her strength. Giraffe society may appear loose, but they've developed an incredibly clever support system known as the creche. Mothers take turns playing the role of babysitter. While most of the herd focuses on refueling to maintain milk flow, at least one female volunteers to stay behind and watch over the young. After a few weeks of knowing nothing but milk, the world begins to widen. The little ones start to get curious about finer menus. This is when their remarkable tongue, up to 45 centimeters long and able to grip, steps up to the plate. They learn to navigate the steel-like thorns of the acacia to forage for fiber. This first taste of solid food comes earlier than we might think, even though they still rely on their mother's milk until the age of 1. The complex digestive system of a ruminant takes time to adjust to the harsh chemical compounds found in savanna plants. By watching and mimicking their mother, the young not only learn how to eat, but also how to tell the difference between what sustains life and what nature has laced with hidden chemical traps. In that quiet stillness, life continues, rising tall and proud. Protecting offspring is a powerful instinct, but that instinct cannot function without energy. No matter how carefully the young are hidden or shielded, an empty stomach will soon wear down even the strongest resolve. To produce milk that nourishes fragile new lives, to gather the strength to stand as a living barrier before a pack of hyenas, the mother must become the one who takes life to provide. Hunger is not an enemy. It is the fuel that keeps survival moving forward, the engine that keeps the wheels turning. Not only giraffes rely on a creche, lionesses also use this strategy with remarkable effectiveness. At this shared nursery, the young ones who are cousins are raised together with no distinction or favoritism. A single mother may nurse all the cubs within the pride. This generosity ensures that even if one mother can no longer continue caring for her young, the bloodline of the lineage will still carry on. While one group remains behind to guard the treasure of the pride, the others set out on the hunt. The period of rest after giving birth does not slow her down. On the contrary, it sharpens her resolve. Hunting alone is a high-risk equation with a success rate of only about 15%. Without support from companions, the choice of target must be made with extreme care. The target is locked in, a zebra. For the hungry mother, this is the perfect block of protein. But her brain is releasing a surge of oxytocin, throwing her instincts into disarray. The predator instinct wins out. Empathy doesn't fill an empty belly, and hesitation won't feed the young. The meal taken from the unfortunate zebra will soon be transformed into warm milk, flowing into the bodies of the young ones waiting in the creche. The cycle of energy on the savannah is written through moments like these: ruthless, decisive, and precisely calculated. If lionesses are a formal force that prevails through numbers, then the leopardess is a solitary sniper. In the world of female hunters, cooperation brings success, but solitude forges something far more formidable: absolute patience. With no companions to provide cover, there is no second chance if the prey slips away. For a leopard, an unsuccessful hunt is not merely an empty stomach, it is wasted energy. And this female is a master of the waiting game. A young wildebeest. Small, fragile, and offering just the right amount of calories for a single, well-timed move. Hunger is a ruthless teacher, showing her that those who wait know how to claim the richest reward. Locking her jaws around the throat, she delivers a precise, tactical chokehold. The young prey never gets the chance to cry out. Kruger National Park, 2 million hectares of untamed survival. Under heat that can reach 40 degrees Celsius, every square meter of land becomes a battleground. This is a shared home to 147 species of mammals, most famously the Big Five. Beyond that, Kruger is a haven for more than 500 bird species, 114 reptile species, and 336 endemic plant species. The interweaving of vast savannas, open woodlands, and life-giving rivers creates a complex ecosystem. In this world, a devoted mother must also become a warrior, because if she doesn't fight for her love, what kind of love does she have? With the red-billed hornbill, love begins with a voluntary contract of confinement in a dark, narrow space. When the breeding season reaches Kruger, the female selects a cavity in an acacia tree or a baobab as her stronghold and begins sealing herself inside. Using a mix of mud, dung, and mashed fruit provided by the male, this mother begins her work like a true mason. She seals the entrance completely, leaving only a tiny vertical slit, so narrow that no predator could slip a paw through, yet just wide enough for life to stay connected. A lifeline slit, a perfect barrier against snakes and clever monkeys, but the cost is total surrender of her freedom. Inside the darkness of the tree hollow, the female sheds all her wing and tail feathers at the same time. This is the most efficient way to conserve energy while nurturing the eggs. Yet in reality, it turns her into a prisoner, unable to fly. All control over fate is now handed entirely to the partner outside. This is absolute trust, or nature's boldest gamble. She accepts vulnerability, so her young can be born under the strictest protection. A brilliant survival strategy, yet filled with uncertainty if the provider outside faces trouble. The burden now rests on the one outside. The male bird becomes the sole lifeline. He's not just a mate. He's a full-scale supply chain running at maximum capacity. On average, a single male must complete between 30 and 70 flights a day under the scorching savanna sun. From ripe red berries to protein-rich lizards, everything is delivered through that narrow, stingy slit. He must push past exhaustion and evade predators lurking along every route. If he falls, this fortress will turn into a collective tomb. The fate of the next generation hinges on the endurance of a quiet promise, a seamless rhythm between one who chooses confinement and one who never stops flying. For 2 full months, the mother trades her feathers for the safety of her young. When her new plumage has just grown back, the mud wall is broken away, a return to the light. The chicks step into the world with a higher chance of survival than birds that nest in the open. Sometimes, survival belongs to mothers who accept restraint, so the flame of life can keep burning. Still a hornbill, yet the southern ground hornbill reaches the size of a turkey, and at the same time, its breeding system is far more forgiving. Even so, it can take up to 9 years for a southern ground hornbill to successfully raise a single chick. Caring for young and reproduction here overturn the usual rules of hornbill life. In this world, survival is not based on numbers, but on an extremely disciplined social structure. In this kingdom, only one alpha pair holds the right to carry on the bloodline. The others? They are permanent helpers. Young males are tasked with serving the queen and guarding the group's sole heir. Young females, once mature, are immediately driven away. The single queen alone possesses an open fortress. It is a privilege, but also a precarious bargain. She is free to leave and stretch her wings, but in exchange, the egg and chick are fully exposed to watchful threats. To compensate for this security gap, the helper unit must operate at full capacity. The males take turns patrolling around the nesting tree, turning the area into a no-go zone for any intruder. When the chick is born, the pressure falls heavily on the shoulders of the young male apprentices. While the dominant female dedicates all her time to warming the chick, the helpers must become tireless hunters. The greater the number of helpers, the higher the chick's chance of making it through. a long-term investment in the future. After months spent sheltered in darkness and under the strict protection of the Brotherhood, the chick is finally ready for its first flight. It carries not only the hopes of its parents, but those of an entire lineage that has poured effort and endurance into 9 long years. To protect her young, a mother leopard must understand every weakness of her rivals. Narrow rock crevices, so tight that only a flexible body can slip through, become a perfect shield against large-bodied lions. Or hollow baobab trees. Lifting her cubs high above the ground is the safest way to neutralize spotted hyenas, creatures with bone-crushing bite force, yet completely powerless against gravity. However, a fixed fortress is a sentence with no future. The scent of cubs and accumulated waste will soon turn any shelter into a beacon for roaming predators. That is why every 2 to 5 days, she must carry out a silent relocation, holding each cub gently in her jaws and moving them to a new hiding place. When hiding fails, the mother cheetah is ready to become a living decoy. Her strength and fierceness are undeniable. She doesn't need to bring down her enemy. She only needs to remind them that her claws are sharper than their patience. But this protection comes with a brutally strict expiration date. As the cubs grow, maternal care fades. There is a clear distinction. Male cubs are allowed to stay longer. They need more time to learn, because in the world of male leopards, having no territory means having no future. By contrast, daughters face early emotional distance from their mother. The reason is that they usually face less pressure when securing territory, and more importantly, they often remain close to their mother's range. Now, they become rivals. The daughters, once shielded by their mother at all costs, now come to view that same mother as an adversary. Every rose has its thorns. A leopard cub weighing less than 2 kilograms carries a rare innocence of the savannah. In a world shaped by hunters, this is the most peaceful moment it will ever know. But do not mistake stillness for safety. Its older sister is nearby, waiting for a chance to claim their mother's territory. The daughter is now fully grown, and she looks at her mother as a rival. Territorial overlap between mother and offspring can reach 46%, and when food becomes scarce, those boundaries are redrawn by claws. Any wound can become a turning point. The daughter wins with youth and ferocity. The mother is old now, and in her daughter's eyes, she's just a relic of the past, standing in the way of what's to come. The fight is over. The mother becomes an exile on the very land she once ruled. For a female cheetah, home is anywhere her legs, reaching speeds of 110 kilometers per hour, can carry her. She owns not a single square meter of land the way a leopardess does. Her life is a chain of endless chases, running to ease an empty stomach through heart-pounding hunts and running to slip away from trouble brought by shifting alliances. Unlike most predators with fixed breeding seasons, the female cheetah plays a biological gamble without regard for time. She can enter estrus at any moment of the year, and when that moment arrives, she sends out an urgent broadcast. A scent trail from urine on a tree trunk or a small mound, becomes the strongest satellite signal imaginable. This message is short-lived, lasting only a few brief days. Any male within a few miles will receive it and immediately abandon everything else to trace the source. A new arms race begins. Male cheetahs often form coalitions, usually 2 or 3 brothers, joining forces to hold strategic ground and defend shared territory. And when a queen of speed appears, carrying that unmistakable scent of invitation, the entire coalition knows exactly where to find her. This isn't a romantic rendezvous. This is a show of numbers. A female cheetah's instinct is rooted in caution and evasion. She won't submit to mating easily. She hisses with piercing warning cries that rip through the stillness. But this is, in truth, a test. By forcing the males to surround her and remain longer within their territory, she is quietly measuring the endurance and quality of those who may carry her lineage forward. Only the most persistent, the strongest, earn final approval. Multiple males encircling her allow the coalition to maintain control over the anxious female, ensuring she does not slip away. They depart once she carries new life, the proof of the trial by fire. Look into the eyes of a baby baboon, and you will see a tiny reflection of ourselves, especially when it begins learning how to say no to its parents. This is the most trying phase of a young baboon's life, weaning. At this age, the youngster can already chew roots and grass. But why bother working when a premium menu is still available? Its mother, however, has other plans. To allow her body to recover and begin a new ovulation cycle, she must shut down this free buffet. The result? A classic tantrum from a youngster that has no desire to grow up. While the young baboon wrestles with its personal crisis, the mother is busy managing relationships. She has formed a special friendship with this large male. It is a professional security agreement. She grooms him, and in return he becomes a solid shield for mother and child against internal bullying within the troop. Pushed to the sidelines, the young monkey is now just a spectator in the power games of the adults. A mother's attention has become a precious currency, and it no longer belongs to him alone. Her indifference is a harsh but necessary lesson in independence. But danger doesn't always come with the teeth of a leopard. Sometimes it comes from a fellow female, driven by a wild, aching desire to be a mother. A calculated kidnapping is already in motion. Driven by extremely high levels of oxytocin after losing an infant or never having had one, a female longs to cradle at any cost. The abductor has no milk, and out of fear of having her precious prize taken back, she often clutches the infant until its strength quietly fades from lack of water. This is one of the darkest corners of primate society. Fortunately, in a split second, protective instinct takes over. The savannah has taught its first lesson in vigilance. The world beyond a mother's arms is not only sweet grass and wild fruit, but also those willing to steal your very breath in the name of love. Do not mistakenly believe that the female reign is limited only to the thickets of the lowlands. Africa is a giant mosaic of matriarchal empires, where social order is established not by sheer brawn, but through sophisticated political alliances. From the humid jungles of Central Africa to the mist-covered peaks, these ladies are running the show in their own unique way. We are leaving the intense warmth of the savannah behind to head north, where the air thins and the sheer cliffs of Ethiopia become the stage for one of the most absolute matriarchal societies on the planet. Welcome to the rooftop of Africa. At an elevation of over 3,000 meters above sea level, Geladas are far more than just grass-eating monkeys. They are true politicians. Science often refers to them as the bleeding heart monkey because of the bright red patch on their chest, but don't judge a book by its cover. In Gelada society, that red patch is not a symbol of romance, but rather a gauge for hormones and social standing. And the ones who hold the reins of that gauge are none other than the females. Within a family unit, the sisters are the permanent owners, acting as the primary shareholders in the enterprise of continuing the bloodline. And those imposing males out there, they are actually just temporary contract employees. Just look at that mane and those long canines. They look quite formidable, don't they? But in reality, the lead male in a Gelada family fulfills only two main roles: a dedicated guardian and a partner when requested. He is not the head of the household. He is a piece of eye candy with a protective function. True power rests in the hands of a council made up of closely related females who essentially call the shots. Together, they decide where the troop travels, when they dine, and most importantly, who is permitted to stay. The latest genetic studies show that within a family unit, the females stay together for life, while the average tenure for a male lasts less than 3 years before he is unseated. When a male begins to have delusions of grandeur regarding his power, becoming overly assertive or simply growing frail and losing the strength to turn away intruders, the Council of Queens convenes. This is when the true nature of the matriarchy comes to light. Without the need for a fierce confrontation like those of lions, the females simply turn their backs in unison. They form a solid alliance, using social support to isolate the one in charge. If the male fails to read the room, these ladies will collectively move against him, overwhelming and removing the autocrat from the family. It is a cold and thorough unseating, carried out by those he once considered his subordinates. Following the transition comes the recruitment process. The females actively select a new candidate from the bachelor groups lingering around the cliffs. They favor young males who offer excellent protection, but are also willing to follow instructions. The newly joined male must put his best foot forward to win over every member of the female council if he wishes to maintain his position. In the Ethiopian highlands, kingship is not inherited through the male bloodline, but is granted by the approval of the females. A perfect system of checks and balances. As the sun sets behind the Simeon Mountains, the matriarchal order is once again reinforced. The most successful individual is not the one with the longest canines, but the one who knows how to serve the most powerful women. Leaving the arid cliffs of Ethiopia, we descend in elevation to reach the riverfront gardens of the savannah. Here, the air is thick with life and even political intrigue. For the vervet monkey, life is a game of residency and inheritance. The males are like boarding guests. They arrive, stay for a while, and then pack their bags to find a new troop. But the females, they are the permanent owners of this land. They are born, grow up, and complete their time here, right where their ancestors once reigned, an absolute stability in an ever-changing world. In vervet monkey society, democracy is a foreign concept. Power here is operated according to an absolute monarchy based on lineage. If your mother is a queen, you are naturally a princess. There are no elections. Social status is etched into your genetic code from the moment you are born with a silver spoon in your mouth. Females of noble descent always receive the choicest morsels and the safest spots in the trees. This power is so enduring that it is passed down through many generations, creating an unshakable aristocracy in the heart of the grasslands. Observe what happens when a male forgets his place. He might be larger and stronger, but he is alone. Facing a female alliance is quite an ordeal. If a male does not follow the rules or appears overly bold, the Council of Ladies will not hesitate to teach him a lesson. They move together as one, asserting dominance and even removing the stubborn ones from the best resources. In the savannah, the strength of an individual never triumphs over the power of a social network. The wisest males are those who know which side their bread is buttered on, rather than trying to confront the queens. The matriarchal system of the vervet monkey is a testament to the success of it. Look closely. Every single leopard has spots. Even this one. The spots are still there. Beneath the black fur, you cannot see them, but they are there. And that tells us everything about what is hidden inside this black coat. Melanistic. And that gene, for the leopard, is not MC1R, as most of us assumed. It is the agouti signaling protein, an entirely different pigmentation control system. This is what makes the three shadow predators in this story almost impossible to believe. Phantom, the black leopard of Kabini, carries a mutated ASIP gene. Obsidian, the black jaguar of the Amazon, carries a mutated MC1R gene. The same black coat, two entirely different genetic systems. But why isn't it common? If the black coat is a weapon, why do only around 11% of leopards carry it? Because it is a recessive gene. Both mother and father must carry this allele, and both may appear completely ordinary. In a leopard population, where 10% carry the black coat, nearly half of all spotted leopards carry the hidden gene. At the far tip of the Malay Peninsula, evolution revealed its true answer. There, the black coat didn't stay rare. Not 10%. Nearly 100%. That means that in the right environment, selection pressure is strong enough that the recessive allele. Each generation, those with the black coat survived at higher rates, produced more offspring, and their young did too. And after thousands of years, the golden coat became the exception. The male leopard pursuing Phantom through Kabini, the female competing with Shade in Laikipia, may carry that gene without knowing it. beneath the Kabini midday sun. Phantom feels that heat differently. Hotter, more exposed, hungrier. This is the trade that evolution has made. I give you darkness, but you pay for it in light. "10 confirmed. That is the number of black leopards verified across all of Africa. 10 across an entire continent. And one of those 10 lives here, Laikipia, Kenya. We call her Shade. Shade is female. Her territory covers 3 square kilometers. Inside a region where one lion pride controls 40 square kilometers. Shade's territory lies entirely within the lion pride's sphere of influence. She lives at the heart of their empire. And this has created a situation unlike anywhere else on Earth. Because in Laikipia, there is no forest, only grassland, open and exposed beneath the Kenyan sun. Shade lives where, by every ecological standard, a black leopard should not survive. But she survives because she has learned something that no leopard should have had to learn: how to turn open space into a weapon. The answer is not daylight. Shade does not fight the light. Shade waits for it. When the sun touches the horizon, when the grassland shifts from gold to amber to red, Shade begins to move. Because Shade is a leopard, and leopards are creatures of the night. Most active from 9 at night to 5 in the morning, night is their armor. Beneath Kenya's stars becomes her kingdom. Even on the darkest night, always has enough stars. Every morning, when the first light falls across the grassland, Shade must find Shade before the pride begins to move. 40 square kilometers, 8 lions. For them, a black leopard with a black coat becomes a moving target. The coat makes Shade invisible at midnight and conspicuous as a shadow cast the wrong direction at noon. The pride hasn't found Shade yet. Not yet, but the grassland keeps no secrets. And the pride never stops searching. This is the territory that Shade has memorized. This is what time and failure can teach. Know the terrain better than whoever pursues you. The lead lioness controls 40 square kilometers. But she does not know 3 of them. Shade's 3. The lion pride has numbers. Shade has a map. Because in this war, information is the only thing a black leopard can accumulate that the lions cannot take away. In the red light, not enough for daylight, but not enough for night, Shade is seen. Lions. They know this does not belong here. The pride doesn't catch Shade, but their presence alone is enough. Enough to stop Shade from moving, from hunting, from escaping the zone where sunlight will expose her. And this is the strength of a lion pride. They are more patient than anything on the grassland. But darkness is patient too. The pride doesn't give up, because they hunt at night too. Both lions and leopards have the tapetum lucidum, the reflective layer behind the retina. allowing light to pass twice across the photoreceptors. But shade was built to compete with lions, because while lions are generalists, leopards are nocturnal specialists. They were forged for the dark. When the sun fully sets, this is no longer lion territory. Run, shade. Run into the darkness. That is where you win. The lion pride can see the night. But shade does not reflect light. The black coat is her disappearance. But the huntresses change their minds. They spot a hunting opportunity. There is puku scent nearby. The lioness cannot see them by sight, but a single startled movement, and everything collapses. The unexpected meal draws their attention away from the quarry they pursued. But they will search again. And shade, she has vanished. The scent of the meal spreads through the cold night air. But no one dares approach to contest it. They sense something is watching. Before dawn, shade hunts. Shade climbs the lone acacia at the edge of her territory, looks down at the grassland turning pink, 40 square kilometers of it. And in those 3 square kilometers, last night, shade won. Data from the Laikipia Predator Project confirms melanistic leopards at Laikipia are 23% more nocturnal than spotted counterparts. Successful hunt rates at night are higher because prey cannot see them coming. The black coat does not change the skill. It changes the information available to prey. From "there is a threat" to "there is nothing." 8,000 kilometers to the east. Another shadow is learning its own lesson, a lesson that no lion will teach. Kabini, Nagar Hole Tiger Reserve, India. This is the most densely populated stretch of forest on Earth for a single leopard. An estimated 100 leopards within 643 square kilometers. The land of leopards. Phantom did not choose a quiet, dark corner of India. Phantom chose the most contested land of all. A wound is the welcome of this land. Someone has asked the question, are you worthy of being here? Scarface, the old male leopard, the ruling predator of this territory, before Phantom arrived. But Scarface is not the only threat. Carl, a Bengal tiger, weighing 220 kilograms, 3 times Phantom's weight. He is an absolute ruler. Carl's successful hunts give him the right to determine the fate of any predator in this territory. Carl does not respect the territorial boundaries of leopards. Carl does not acknowledge Phantom. For a ruler, the answer is always yes. And the Kabini dry season, from November through April, places Phantom at a double disadvantage. Disadvantage 1, the canopy. In the dry season, Kabini's vegetation is depleted. The canopy thins. The daytime shadows, the very thing Phantom's black coat needs to operate, disappear. Disadvantage 2, heat. 34 to 38 degrees Celsius, 93 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Black fur absorbs heat more intensely than spotted golden fur. Phantom must rest more during the day, less time to hunt, fewer chances to establish territory. Hotter, more exposed, hungrier, and the black coat becomes a burden in daylight. Phantom retreats to the flooded backwaters to cool down, but that is the territory of massive water predators. Male tiger Carl, the lethal tiger queen Kismet, but there is no other option. In this forest, there is one thing tigers cannot do. One thing that makes 220 kilograms of tiger a disadvantage: trees. Tigers are too heavy to climb high. And when Phantom needs to truly vanish, it simply has that option. 3 meters, 5 meters, until the canopy blocks every line of sight from below. This is Phantom's empire, an empire no tiger can invade. But dholes are different. 20 Indian wild dogs, each smaller than Phantom, but together. When dholes appear, no leopard stays on the ground. Even Carl, with 220 kilograms and jaws that crush buffalo bone, retreats before a dhole pack. Phantom does not retreat and learns. Langurs are the forest's memory. When they cry out, it is not always about Phantom. Sometimes it is Carl approaching, sometimes dholes, sometimes Scarface patrolling the territory boundary. Phantom learns to distinguish the langur alarm call for big cats from the call for wild dog packs. This is something the black coat cannot teach, but the forest of Kabini can. The dry season teaches the black coat one lesson. Temperature at 38 degrees Celsius. The black coat absorbs heat, absorbs it fully. Recent studies suggest that melanistic felids may process heat differently from their spotted counterparts. Different distribution of sweat glands, altered subcutaneous blood circulation. No definitive conclusion yet, but Phantom survives at 38 degrees Celsius, and the spotted leopard beside it does too. Because the dry season does not last forever, and Kabini holds a secret the rain will reveal. June. Moisture from the Indian Ocean pushes up onto the Deccan Plateau, and the first clouds of the monsoon arrive. Rebirth. When the temperature drops, when the canopy thickens, when the true shade returns, no longer blocked by drought. Phantom's black coat transforms from burden to weapon. The canopy fills in, day by day, hour by hour. Sunlight no longer reaches the forest floor. Darkness is no longer a gap, it is the standard. Darkness is now daylight. Here it is, Phantom's weapon, vanishing in broad daylight. Kismet, the tigress, uncontested queen of Kabini. 200 kilograms. Territory spanning more than 40 square kilometers. 1 meter from Phantom, Kismet does not stop, does not recognize it. The brighter the light, the deeper the shadow. And Monsoon Kabini is the brightest light. The black coat has ever been tested against. The brighter the light, the deeper the shadow. Below is Cleo, the spotted leopard, perfectly camouflaged in dry grass, invisible to everything. Cleo chooses Scarface, the territory's dominant male, to protect her cubs, and Phantom, isolated beneath a hostile canopy. But here is the question no one asks. Is Cleo or the spotted leopards moving through this forest, carrying the gene? Possibly. According to Hardy Weinberg, in a population with 10% black leopards, nearly half of spotted leopards outside may carry the hidden allele. The next generation resembling Phantom could be born from two spotted leopards who never recognize the gene in each other. The monsoon ends, but Phantom has mastered the use of shadow. Using shade as an ally, body pressed flat against a branch. Deer are sharp, but they rely mostly on hearing or the alarm calls of langurs. The monkeys don't detect it. They are too high, and Phantom hides very low. Once prey enters the kill zone, nothing can change what comes next. A full stomach makes Phantom calmer and more confident than ever. It is ready to challenge the current king of this territory. Cleo leaves scent marks along the trail. She is ready to mate. Phantom makes its move. Scarface knows this and is waiting. The final confrontation does not happen in daylight. It happens in the darkness of old-growth forest, where Phantom has the advantage. But not any longer. Phantom faces it directly. Kabini belongs to Phantom. It and Cleo are now the dominant pair ruling this kingdom. But the struggle of the wild world never stops. A completely different shadow is waiting. Mamirawa, Amazonas, Brazil. This is the largest Várzea reserve on Earth. 1.1 million hectares of Amazon rainforest, flooded for half the year. Here, water is not terrain, water is the predator, and Obsidian must navigate both. Shade hunts in darkness. Phantom waits for the rain. Obsidian does not need to wait. Because the Amazon never truly grows bright. Mamirawa, canopy so dense that sunlight never truly reaches the water's surface. Here, there is only shadow, continuous, permanent, indifferent to day or night. They don't only hunt at night, they hunt by day, because here the black coat is camouflage at every hour. But Mamirawa is not the jaguar's kingdom alone. Obsidian's enemy has no legs. It has 6.3 meters of body and 200 kilograms of pure muscle. February 2024. Scientists confirmed the green anaconda is not one species. The southern green anaconda of the Pantanal and the northern green anaconda of the Amazon, two separate species. The anaconda that Obsidian faces at Mamirawa is the northern green anaconda, a newly confirmed species, one that science has barely begun to understand. Obsidian weighs 90 kilograms. The anaconda weighs 200 kilograms, and the anaconda is in the water. Anacondas hunt through environment. They pull prey into the water, where 200 kilograms becomes a perfect weapon. The anaconda's strategy: wait for the enemy to enter its territory, into the darkness of black water. It is not difficult. In the Amazon, few animals can live far from water, large predators included. A capybara has no idea that death is beneath it. The largest rodent on the planet, but completely defenseless before the swamp's assassin. No sound of biting, only the coiling of muscle. The power of anaconda lies in pressure. The anaconda's crushing force equals that of a car driving over prey's chest. The anaconda is a muscle machine, and the black river floor is its absolute kingdom. But the Amazon has more than one tyrant. Back at the dark forest shore, a shadow of pure black is watching. In this world, reptiles rarely challenge jaguars, even when they are armed to the teeth. The black caiman's back is protected by osteoderms, bone plates embedded in the skin, hard as steel, but not the skull. Done. It disappears into the undergrowth to eat alone. Here, reptiles are prey, not rivals. When capable of bringing down apex predators, the jaguar becomes the ultimate hunter. And no ruler wants to stop at the current boundary. It wants to drive the black jaguar from its hunting waters. But obsidian steps into the water, not because it was pulled, by choice. Obsidian submerged half its body in the Varzea current. Its unique coat structure rapidly absorbs the water's temperature, neutralizing the anaconda's thermal detection system. Obsidian strikes. The anaconda loses. It never knew the enemy already owned this darkness. Melanistic jaguars in the Amazon occur at higher rates than in any other jaguar population on Earth. In some areas of the Amazon Varzea, the proportion of melanistic individuals exceeds 50%. Compare with the Pantanal, Brazil's open, sun-drenched wetland, less canopy cover, far more light. The recessive ASIP mutation becomes a death sentence there, destroying camouflage capability. Melanistic jaguars are almost absent from the Pantanal. Same species, same ancestral genome, two selection pressures, two completely opposite outcomes. This is the most concrete evidence of directional selection in big cats, not at the level of theory alone, but across real populations, in real ecosystems. Obsidian is not an exception in the Amazon, and that is what makes the Amazon different from Laikipia and Kabini. Here, the black coat is the standard. 3 shadow predators, 3 continents, 3 victories. Which battle was the hardest? 8 lions in the Laikipia night, 1 tiger in the Kabini rain, or the reptile beast in Amazon's black water. Three strategies, 1 coat. And now we can answer the question. Chapter 1 asked, what did evolution make this black coat for? Not to become invisible, not to be stronger, not to escape the sun. To learn how to find the right darkness. Shade found darkness on the grassland. Phantom found darkness in the rain. Obsidian found darkness in the water. And Phantom's ASIP gene, Obsidian's MC1R gene, 2 completely different systems, arrived at the same answer. And here is what we must not forget. This gene is more fragile than we think. In the Laikipia leopard population, if 10% carry the black coat, the proportion carrying the hidden gene without showing it is nearly 50%. The leopard lying directly beneath Phantom on the branch, the spotted leopard no one notices, can carry that exact gene. A hidden gene does not disappear, it waits. But every time a melanistic leopard dies, every time a black jaguar loses its territory, a part of this gene's future disappears with it. In the 2018 final survey at Mamirawa, 5 melanistic jaguars, a number small enough to count on one hand. Evolution does not create one-directional solutions. When it gave 3 different continents the same black coat through 2 different genetic paths, it was saying that darkness is useful enough to be worth discovering twice. And perhaps the black coat was never only about darkness. Some studies suggest that. Melanistic felids may have immune system advantages or benefits from melanin's radical scavenging properties. No definitive conclusion yet. But when evolution reinvents the same thing 5 times, it cannot be for only one reason. And whether the next generation carries that gene depends on both mother and father carrying it, neither knowing the other does. If you want to understand the hunters who hunt shadow predators, the lion prides, the Bengal tigers, the anacondas, stay with us. The next story is waiting. With the longest gestation period among terrestrial mammals, requiring 660 days to gather energy and nutrients to welcome a 100-kilogram calf. The baby elephant must find its footing within mere moments of arrival. Because at Savuti, the scent of new existence. Is the signal that awakens the primal instinct of those who follow the path of the hunt. When the Savuti Channel completely receded, in 1981, artificial waterholes were established. Instead of embarking on a journey of hundreds of kilometers to the Okavango Delta, thousands of elephants decided to settle permanently at Savuti and became a colossal yet high-stakes source of sustenance for the Savuti Pride. A super pride of more than 40 members. They transcend the barriers of physical scale to place the African bush elephant upon their menu of survival. From August to November, the migration leaves a colossal biological void, and the African bush elephant occupies more than 90% of the remaining animal biomass. To adapt to these demanding conditions and the scarcity of traditional sustenance, the predators completely restructure their instincts by daring to challenge the giants. On average, every 3 days, one elephant concludes its journey. This specialized sustenance elevates the daily consumption of each member to double compared to any other typical pride. Until one moonlit night, the nocturnal pursuit is so sudden and profound that even the matriarch of the herd cannot withstand the tide. Countering the aggressive prowess of the hunters is a steadfast fortress operated under the guidance of the matriarchs. Possessing a brain weighing over 5 kilograms, with a highly developed temporal lobe and hippocampus, she holds invaluable ecological memory. During the most demanding days, the matriarch calmly leads her kin based on memory of underground water veins hidden half a century ago. Through the analysis of acoustic fingerprints, the matriarch accurately distinguishes the sound frequency of an adult male lion. From less formidable pursuers, to reach a decision through infrasound signals below 20 hertz. Losing a matriarch, cortisol levels in the blood of the young rise sharply, softening the immune system and brain development. Making the young one a vulnerable focus for any predators. Fortunately, another female in the herd has offered sustenance to the orphaned young and accepted the responsibility of guidance. However, the high density of the Savuti herds, under immense consumption needs, has led to a profound transformation of the vegetation. Now, the herd no longer holds the strength to compete with other herds. They are compelled to venture further to seek nutritional resources. And a path away from the reach of the lions. Meanwhile, the sovereignty of the Savuti pride is not an eternal privilege. From the western Mababe Plains, nomadic male lions, carrying the ambition of acquisition, begin their encroachment upon the territory. In the world of the Savannah Kings, authority always aligns with the ability to safeguard boundaries. And when the ruler passes away, that order shatters beyond restoration. To protect the youthful generations, the proud elephant hunters are compelled to retreat toward the north. At this moment, the two most formidable forces of the wilderness, the African bush elephant and the Savuti pride, no longer stand on opposing sides of the battleground. They remain only as wandering entities, diligently seeking their final breath of existence. The journey of hundreds of kilometers toward the northeast has guided the wanderers into Zimbabwe. October in the Zambezi Valley. Is the moment when the Earth's axis and tropical high pressure converge, frequently pushing temperatures beyond 45 degrees Celsius. Every previous advantage of numbers is neutralized. Hydration is a daily metabolic necessity for the Cape buffalo to sustain the flame of existence. A consequence of a nervous system not yet tempered through setback has led these young ones to violate the golden rule of apex predators, strategic patience. In a state of dehydration, the assertiveness of the buffalo is elevated to its zenith. No longer the pursuers, lions become the hunted. By the very ones they hunt. The mother lion has guided the young ones to select and await the opportune moment when the pursuit becomes most fragile. But these Cape buffalo, separated from the herd, seem anything but simple. The male Cape buffalo often depart from the protection of the great herd to establish bachelor groups with only 2 to 5 members. They are known as the Dagger Boys. Every ounce of their energy is channeled toward a single purpose: self-preservation. They are a vast library of behavior, allowing them to interpret every movement of the most formidable pursuers before the engagement even begins. The pride's strategy is to guide the target into the sandy chutes. The nearly 1-ton weight of the Cape buffalo becomes its own adversary. But the Dagger Boy completely shatters the pride's efforts to control its center of gravity. The giant successfully navigates his escape with a physical concession of his tail. This setback uncovers the tactical developing stage of the young hunters. As they have yet to master the rhythm of the engagement and the ability to conclude the pursuit. Before the intense resistance of an entity guarding its final existence. No longer overcoming the giants, the lions are compelled to aim for more optimal pursuits. But the parched sky of the Zambezi Valley is an invisible network of biological intelligence, openly resisting the encroacher. Upon the granite outcrops and steep sand cliffs, the Chakma baboon troops reign like temple guardians who never sleep. With trichromatic vision, similar to that of humans, the Chakma baboon easily uncovers the straw-colored camouflage of the lion within the dry grass. A single sentinel individual requires only a glance to identify even the slightest shift. It is an interspecies signal. The element of surprise is completely neutralized. transforming the pursuit into an impossible mission even before it begins. The barks of the baboons transform a concealed ambush into an open pursuit. The warthog is still expected to be an accessible target due to its sturdy appearance. But this perception is a miscalculation by the developing hunters. The warthog effortlessly utilizes the flexibility of its joints to execute intricate and sharp maneuvers. Once again, muscular prowess will forever remain an ineffective tool.
We've just witnessed the rawest glimpses of the brutal struggle for survival and the cutting-edge evolutionary adaptations of the African wilderness. Which animal in today's episode made you rethink the wild? Was it the sophisticated venom immunity of the honey badger or the ultimate hunting prowess of the lone king at Kruger? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your understanding and appreciation is the greatest tribute to these incredible wild creatures. Don't forget to like and subscribe to join me on my next field expeditions, where we'll continue to decode the most mysterious secrets of survival. And if you want to explore even more about other wildlife species, keep watching Win or Die, full episode. Deadliest Battles for Survival or Lion Attack. The Mapogo Battle for Survival.